Hello, my name is Joanna. I am a relationship coach and I help people to identify subconsciously stored associations with love and relationships and then reprogram them so they can finally experience fulfilling relationships in their lives. I share here on this channel some tools and processes which we can all use to better understand the associations we have with love. Of course, this is all based on attachment theory and principles of subconscious mind, and this helps us to better understand how we operate and what actually is impacting our decisions in love life or relationships, and better understand ourselves. So today I would like to talk about very important feeling we're going through, but when it's toxic, let's say, when it's coming from wound, it will impact our life, our fulfillment in our life, and our relationships. So this feeling, this emotion is called shame. So why do we suffer from shame? Shame, like any other emotion, is natural, normal, and has its function in the human being life. And we're supposed to feel shame in order to repair what was seen as wrong and regain the connection with our tribe, with our community. But because we talk about the shame coming from wounds, it's totally different experience and different consequences of this type of shame. So we suffer from shame because when we were growing up and we are able to feel shame as early as 15 months old, comparing to guilt, which we are able to feel between year 3 and 6. So if we were exposed to the situations where our caregivers shamed us, criticized us, didn't allow us to express our true self, we were maybe also treated with indifference, neglect. Our needs, our feelings were seen as wrong, inadequate. That was the moment where we start developing this unhealthy shame, and right away with that feeling we created a shame beliefs about ourselves. So the shame beliefs are always focused on how we are wrong, defective as we, our true self, the core of us, which we know we cannot change. So the only option is to hide it and not express it at all, the true self, and function with the environment, with the people around through that created persona, because of that information coming from the caregiver that who we are is not okay, it's wrong. So one of the most common shame beliefs will be I am defective, there is something wrong with me, I am a fraud, I shouldn't have been born, I am bad, I am a failure, I am disgusting. So these are the shame beliefs which now in our subconscious mind create that self-identity, the identity about us. We operate from that belief, and then we interact in our relationships from that beliefs and that perception about us. And also we have all sorts of techniques to not show our true self and operate through that shameful feeling. So the next thing we want to know about that shame coming from wounds is that at the moment of that ongoing interactions with our caregivers, we will develop a part of us called inner critic, which from now on will remind us that who we are at the core, the true self, is wrong. We're supposed to be different. And of course, at the same time, will be created the devalued self and the perfect self, the perfect persona we present to the world, which will be accepted by the tribe, by the people we are interacting with. This inner critic may have the voice of the caregiver, who was very demanding toward us, had high standards, was criticizing, was neglecting. It may have this, you may have here in your mind your caregiver's voice, but it doesn't have to be that case as well. It can have a different voice. And also it can be someone later on in your life, let's say a teacher who also contribute to that identity that you are defective or there is something wrong with you, which is not true, but this is how how children operate when they get this information, that when we interact and when adults interact with them this way. So it's very important to remember that this split happened, that these parts of us were created. And in healing, this is very important because integration and recovery of a true self brings healing from that toxic shame. So this is one thing. Another thing which you experience if you suffer from this type of shame will be shame anxiety and shame attack. So the shame attack will be an experience which can last for days, hours, sometimes weeks, where the feeling of shame is activated and the beliefs underneath that are also activated. So a situation which triggered your belief, I am defective, there is something wrong with me. If you will not apply tools and processes to work through this experience, you may experience the shame attack, which will last sometimes weeks. The shame anxiety is a state where we are afraid, we feel the anxiety about feeling shame again. So the shame will exaggerate the normal anxiety, let's say the anxiety you feel when you have to speak in front of public, to the highest degree. And any situation, anything can trigger that anxiety that you will actually again feel shame. Why it's so important to heal from shame? Shame is a root of our low self-esteem, perfectionism, fear of failure, codependency, so our toxic, unfulfilling relationships. This type of shame prevents us to celebrate our success, to pursue our dreams. This type of shame causes us to be hyper-vigilant and sometimes obsessive about what people think about us. Because of this shame, we don't pursue our dreams, we don't celebrate, we don't experience fulfilling relationships, we don't enjoy our life fully. We hide, we isolate, we pretend, we wear a mask, so we cannot experience genuine connection. And of course, in the relationships between partners, this shame creates a lot of challenge for partners, because we cannot be our true self, we cannot experience that genuine connection, we cannot fully relax, we cannot fully enjoy love which is offered to us. And I've seen when I had sessions with couples, or just one person who is in a relationship with a person who suffers from shame, that this is causing a lot of challenges and painful situations in a daily life, but especially in the situations where this couple is surrounded by other people, or when they are traveling, or where they are at the event. and the person who suffers more from this type of shame will have a very hard time and will try to also sabotage these situations in life. One more reason to heal this shame is that we will not set the boundaries with people who probably will violate them to a high degree. So not healing that shame will cause that we will end up or will be staying in the relationships which are unhealthy, toxic, violent, and disruptive. And we also will not accept love and genuine connection from other people who can offer and want to offer us this type of relationship, because shame will block that. Sometimes it's hard to know if we suffer from this type of shame, but every time if you experience seeing yourself in the situations because of situation as a defective, there is something wrong with you, you are incapable, you are wrong, you are bad, you may assume that you suffer from that shame. So it's a matter of paying attention how you see yourself because of certain situations. And if this shame belief will show up, it means you can try to start healing that shame. And here I will share some tools and processes which help to do that. So the first tool in healing shame is exposure work. It has to be done with someone we trust who has a lot of compassion, understanding, love, acceptance. So we expose ourselves, and it has to be done with safe environment. It could be a group therapy for that purpose, or with someone you feel safe to do that. So we can experience acceptance, compassion, love, being listened to by these people, and this will help us to heal that shame. In a group therapy, when we share about what we feel ashamed of and talking about this, and also hearing from other people that they have similar experiences, they go through similar feelings and experiences, helps us to feel not rejected, accepted, welcomed, part of, which is very healing experience for those of us who suffer from shame. Next tool process is about somatic experience. So when I work with clients and we talk about this wound and how to heal it, one of the exercise is to feel in the body opposite feelings, sensations to shame. So the opposite will be pride, when you feel proud of yourself, and of course healing, what brings healing is compassion. So few times a day or once a day, you practice this sensation in your body. You're sitting and practicing compassion for what you've been through, for how you're feeling. So you're offering yourself self-compassion, and of course then you can point out why you can feel proud of yourself. So you're practicing these sensations, these emotions in your body. This is very healing experience, and it has to be done daily. Because the emotion programs the subconscious mind, and you were experiencing shame daily probably. It was repetitive experience, so you practice sensation, feeling of shame in your body. So now the same way you heal from that shame. This next tool and processes, in my opinion, will create profound healing of shame when we will address the core beliefs, the shame beliefs on a subconscious level. So all the processes, tools related to reprogramming these core beliefs will create huge change and healing. Of course, the next big step is to have healthy, benefiting a relationship with inner critic. I always address this with our clients, how important it is to not allow the critic to talk, but felt wanted and accepted. It's part of us, but we give the permission to this part of us to talk. So repairing that relationship when we are the boss, when we are the one who gives the permission to talk to us, is a very, very important step in healing shame. Another tool is about emotional level reprogramming. We can use any opportunity to consciously, fully feel the moments where we were recognized, when we are appreciated, when we felt seen and safe, when we felt wanted. So in these moments, when we know we are in a process of healing of shame, we consciously trying every cell of our body to feel that recognition, appreciation coming from external sources, but also any moment when you created something, when you've done something which you consider as an achievement, feeling that consciously, that pride, that triumph, that success, that appreciation and recognition fully in your body. This will help to heal that shame again as well. Another way we can support ourselves in healing shame is practicing awareness of connection. So in the moment of shame, we want to feel connected to nature, to spiritual realm, to God, to the source of life, to something bigger than we are. We can look up into the sky and feel that connection with higher power. So this tool is also very helpful in the process of healing shame. On a thought level reprogramming, we first address the relationship with our inner critic. And every time the critic is talking to us, shaming us, criticizing us, pointing out how bad, horrible, faulty, defective we are, we of course need to say cancel, or how do you want to help me? Like we ask that part of us a question, how do you want to help me? Because right now your criticism, your shaming is not helping me, so please stop. And if there was any thought, any words coming from that part of us, we can write down this thought and provide proofs of opposite to that, what we were accused by critic we are, and who we are, and how we operate. So the reframing of these thoughts or finding proofs of opposite will really create a huge transformation, and we will heal from that shame coming from that part of us who was created in the moment when we were experiencing ongoing shame. Dr. Peter Levine offers healing on the body level. So this type of healing you can experience in the therapy session, where the therapist is noticing that you are going under shame attack, that the shame was activated in you, and using the body posture helps you to get out of that shame attack, right? So this can be done in this environment, in the therapeutic environment, where like Dr. Peter Levine explains, that the body posture is the posture of collapse, and the therapist asks you to just look at the body posture of the therapist and helps you to get out slowly from that collapse to the open posture, to the posture of triumph, of pride, right? So it has to be done with someone who is trained with that and offers this type of help. When we suffer from shame, we may have obsessive thoughts, including word should. So here I will quote Dr. Darlene Lancer. When we obsess around I should do or I should not, it means you believe you can control people and outcome. You don't consider that other people make their own personal decisions or that many circumstances are beyond your control. Focusing only what we can control, where we have actual control, helps also to heal from that shame, because taking full responsibility for everything happening and limiting others people's from their own decisions and their own choices create suffering in our life, and also some situations are really out of our control. Another person who talks about this is Byron Katie, who says there are only 3 types of businesses: my business, your business, and God's business. When we are autonomous, we make decisions based on our true values, our truth, and we no longer adopt to anyone's feelings, needs, emotional state, anything like that. So if you're working on shame, that unhealthy shame, please check if you have any codependency patterns or beliefs. Additionally, I would like to share another quote from Darlene Lancer book. So when we suffer from shame, it will impact our romantic relationships, but also it will impact our relationship with our children. And unconsciously, we can pass our trauma and our shame onto them. So in order to not do that and be aware of this and take accountability for our wounds and heal from that shame, I will read now the quote, how we can help our children to not develop that a wounded self, that unhealthy shame. Parents can reduce shame when they excuse and forgive their children's mistakes and apologize for their own, are empathetic to their failures, comfort them when they're suffering, and accept their children's shame, guilt, shyness, and discouragement without pressuring them to feel better or change. So I hope these few techniques and processes and tools I shared with you will help you to identify the core beliefs you have, which are promoted by this feeling, will help you to, will motivate you to step on this journey of healing that shame. If you need support in that, I do one-on-one sessions where I help people to heal from shame. So you can reach out and start that journey with me. I'll be honored to do that. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Thank you.